I want, of course, you and your companies to pay attention to this unique panel about smart gas. It worth attention, so don't hesitate to call your colleagues or fellows or potential partners. There is a lot to learn here. Please, guys, come on stage because I feel a bit alone, and we are not enough to play soccer, but I wish one day we can have time for that. Please have a chair here. So you will learn in this panel what is the common factor between an internet successful company and a startup where the founder comes from the movie industry and a telecom carrier company. Absolutely nothing in the beginning, but the passion in LoRaWAN technology, the passion to see possible opportunities that are created on existing components, but with a simple mantra to make it simpler, more affordable, and also better. That's what is the common factor between the three companies, and especially here they are unleashing the advantages of low power, long range, and a rich ecosystem of LoRaWAN to create use case for smart gas metering. So that's why I invited all these three companies to come for you here, and we will have a time also for question and answers at the end of their presentation. So firstly, I want also to share, I've met with each of them in my career at Semtech. So sometimes I need to call them, but they respond always. That's also the benefit of mobile, of course, but also that we share the same interest to find fast the partners, the components. So firstly, I wish to introduce you to Valentin Velishkov, CEO of Vestitel. Valentin is interested in many activities and many also culture points. I cannot count the number of long discussions we had beyond the metering, beyond the connectivity. He's passionate in history, in religion, in politics, and also in accountability, of course, because that's his profession. He is an excellent CFO in many companies. He worked in finance for car rental, transportation, and now for Vestitel, where he was in the beginning a CFO, and now, since the last 3 years, the CEO. He's also board member of the Bulgarian Electronic Engineer Association, and he has, I would say, a long experience in creating a relationship. I can testify one anecdote. In April 2019, the LoRa Alliance had a booth in China for utility conference. And that's where I met with Valentin. He proposed me the next day to visit one of his potential suppliers, to visit a large manufacturing site. And for me, that was exciting. I saw him how the misunderstanding between European and Chinese could happen many times. But he was good at dissolving, reducing these possible risks because of the visit, the lunchtime, and of course, everything that happens around is a matter of communication and how you understand what you can negotiate, what you cannot negotiate. So for all these reasons, I value the expertise of Valentin in creating solutions based on technology. Valentin, please come on stage to present your use case.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank to the LoRa Alliance and Remy for the invitation and opportunity to talk at that panel. With few words, I will present our company, Vestitel, founded in 2003 with presence in Bulgaria and Greece. Since 2017, we were only a terrestrial operator. We operating long-haul dark fiber networks, telecommunication ducts. We serve some of the biggest companies in the telco industry like Google, AWS, Vodafone. 2017, 2018, we started our journey with the IoT and the LoRaWAN technology in particular. And that start everything. So the scope of services we are offering is, of course, is data transit and the IoT connectivity, IoT platform, and big data storage. Our company is part of Overgas. Overgas is the biggest gas utility company in Bulgaria. The company controls more than 51% of the territory of Bulgaria and has a long history, founded in 1991, with a big focus on the software system implementation, like integrating system, integrating ERP, SCADA, geographic information systems, hydraulic planning. And for all this system, the big data which we are collecting is the feed. The ambition of Overgas is to reach 500,000 customers in the next 10 years. And every one of them will be a smart one. So, what we do for Overgas, we created a project called Doverие. In Bulgarian, this means trust. Trust from the customer to the gas company on the way they are operating. And of course, there was a big challenges in this. I think the biggest challenge was to convince the gas company to invest in something new, then to convince the regulator to approve new model of pricing, because every investment needs a return. So this is the way how the utility companies get the return through the pricing, which should be improved by the regulatory. Of course, it's not so easy game. The next challenge is testing and choosing the right environment between the LNS, the gateway, and the end device. And we did many tests with many gateways, a few LNSs, and of course, a few end devices, in particular smart gas meters, before we choose the right ecosystem for us, which makes us feel comfortable and confident. So this is the biggest challenge in that project. Of course, you have several other challenges as right sizing, right planning, and implementing different business processes. It's not an easy game. You need to implement the process for installing the meter, replacing the meter, all the alarm feature which the smart meter has. And the solution looks simple. You have the end device, you have the LoRaWAN gateways in a star-in-star architecture, you have the LNS, you have the application server, and all the integration with the other information systems. So, this is our value. Our value is that we combine the expertise between the telco and the utility. We are providing it not just a telecommunication, but we provide a full stack end-to-end solution from the meter to the billing, including the meter management, the alarm models, the project management of everything. And we guarantee our services through the SLA in our contract, through our reputation, and through the achievement we made already. And about the benefits, there is a lot of benefits, not only for us as Vestitel. Of course, the biggest benefit for Vestitel is that we became a LoRaWAN network operator, and we are one of the few on the market to do it, one of the first in Europe to deploy smart gas over LoRaWAN. But also there is a lot of benefits for the utility. Of course, first is the cost reduction. It looks like 50% from the cost for the collecting the data from the analog meters, which is a huge amount of money. Then you have trust, which you are creating between the utility company and its customers, showing the real consumption in real time and giving a lot of opportunities to the consumer to see what is wrong in his consumption, how the consumer could improve it, and to be sure that this is really what he paid for every hour consumption. So he knows very well, yes, I was at home at that hour, this is real my consumption, it's not just an amount in the bill, what I'm getting. Also a lot of alarms. This is regarding the fraud protection. We already solved many cases based on fraud, and it will be a continuous game. The people will continue manipulating the smart meters, but when you have an entire ecosystem, you are able to find very early every fraud event, and then this fraud manipulation to be much more costly for the consumer to do it. So it's really a benefit. Also, we have a lot of security alarm, like gas leak. It's also good for the environment. In case of gas leak in the atmosphere, you know that the methane is more dangerous than the CO2 emission. Also, collecting the big data, you're able to calculate your carbon dioxide footprint, not only yours, but to show the footprint of every your customer. Don't forget about the balance of the gas system. Maybe you are aware that the gas companies, they pay to the gas trading company for the orders. So if they consume less than the ordered amount, they pay penalty. If they consume more than the ordered amount, they pay penalty, and we are talking about millions. So knowing your consumption, giving you the chance to have a very good predictive analysis and to reduce to the minimum the penalties. So, what we have done so far, more than 21 cities in Bulgaria. We started to cover Greece as well. We already have installed 67,000 smart gas meters out of 90,000 existing customers, so a very big percentage of digitalization. Up to the end of the year, we are going to install 10,000 more gas meters, plus new features like gas alarm. And yeah, SLA. We guaranteed that we already have 98% of coverage, and I hope that with the help of the LoRa relay, up to the end of the year, we'll be able to move this percentage above 99.5. The rest are deep, deep in the houses, like -3, -4, with a lot of concrete, but still, we have a better results than any cellular operator. So, this is everything for me. Thank you again. And for me, LoRaWAN is the one. Thank you.
So, thank you, Valentin. The next speaker is Mr. Kapil Agarwal from Dicode Technologies. I have met with Satish, who is in the audience, CEO of Dicode Technologies, thanks to a contact he made via internet with Semtech. And then we met face-to-face in Dubai during the WETEX conference. He was, in the beginning, willing to deploy with NB-IoT, and he had tons of good reasons. We started to engage about what are the value and benefits. He will, with Kapil Agarwal, be able to also explain you in details, but here today I invited Dicode Technologies because they are a startup, newcomer in the LoRaWAN, and they are going fast. It's a kind of Bollywood story, I will say, if you excuse me for that comparison. But they are not, I would say, unsatisfied with the comparison. The fact is, they play fast, like in a thrilling movie of Bollywood. And they are driven by passion, emotion, and they want to achieve success. But with a very good perception of what is important, what is also respectful for everyone. So here at Dicode Technologies, I wish that you have the right audience to express your use case. Please come to tell us about your story.
Thank you, Remy. So before I was listening very carefully to the opening presentation at 9 o'clock, and I was very impressed with few. What happened to this? Oh yeah, by few things which Donna mentioned and Stefan mentioned. Donna said about whatever you deliver is all about profits, sustainability, moving forward, humankind. And Stefan also said that, we have to move now more and more to the platform ecosystem. It's all about, it's not that you know technology. It's not about that you understand technology. It's a question that how do you make the life of the CEO easy? How do you make the life of the CEO easy? And this is exactly, I am an accountant, I am not a technologist, and but I have always worked in high-tech areas, just by that presentation. So I will, by that, now what I will do is, I'll first jump to what is very close to Donna's heart. I'll go to the end of the presentation. So we were, when we started the business in Dubai, to bring latest technologies from around the world to the Middle East, which is looking for the most advanced technologies, we came in touch with a company called X2M Connect in Australia, which is basically having one of the most sophisticated platform software for the utilities. And they were working very advanced in power, water, gas in the APAC region. Now, Donna, to your point, gas, the profit. In Japan, the delivery of the gas is still on the bottles, through the bottles, and bottles are installed outside the houses. And every time a bottle gets empty, they have to rush the truck to refill that bottle. Now, by deploying this technology, essentially what they did was they could predict when the next nearby bottle is getting empty, and they could bunch all the deliveries. Logistics cost got reduced by 20%. This is what the profit is, the first one. The humankind, South Korea, water. They identified the old age homes. And basically, whenever in an old age home, the vulnerable people, whenever there was no water consumption, say for 24 hours, they immediately, created an alert, and the alert was sent to the police and the municipality, and they basically immediately checked upon whether these people are okay. Almost, this is the last one, 200 plus incidents were reported last year. Almost 20 lives saved. That's the humankind. The social causes, saving of water, leak detection. So this is exactly where I thought that I will go back to this is the last slide actually, by the way, of my presentation. So I thought that let me just talk about it. Now, we basically started working this company from, apart from many other things in software, IoT space, data migration, some advanced technologies from US, India, etc. But this company impressed me the most. And when we brought them to Dubai, and we started talking to various utilities, we realized that power and water are in the government domain. They are all already pretty much very well organized. And Dubai Electricity and Water Authority has 1 million water meter, 1 million gas meters. They don't need a software. They had already invested almost $150 million in developing their own software. But when we went to the gas companies, we started looking at the gas sector. We found that the gas sector was absolutely fragmented. And the gas companies, 500,000 meters, almost everything is analog. They are trying to digitize. The challenge is everyone, there are 40 companies servicing these 500,000 meters. When we started contacting them, talking to them, everybody said, oh, I have already done an RFP for 500 meters, 1,000 meters. They were all struggling with the RFP for the meters. Communication, how do they communicate? When the smart meter comes, communication has to happen. Software we already had, the most advanced software, but the communication. When they buy a meter, the meter comes with its own embedded software, then they are stuck to that meter manufacturer for the rest of their life. X2M software was very universal software. Communication was the biggest challenge. How do they communicate? An NB-IoT chip in the Middle East, in UAE particularly, costs almost $8 to $10 per chip. That means if you can't communicate, you just remain analog forever. To migrate to digital, to smart meters, they needed the communication. And this is exactly when we came in touch with Semtech and Rafael and Remy. We started working closely together, and we got introduced to InfraX, which is a 100% subsidiary of Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, government of Dubai, and we started cooperating with them. The issue was that these companies still were very fragmented. How do they communicate with InfraX? How do they tie up with the smart meter companies? How do they get the software individually? And none of them was in a position to create a center of excellence. And this is exactly where we identified an opportunity. We said it is time that this fragmented market we can consolidate. And we can create a center of excellence where we buy the meters, we create a platform, we arrange the communication. For an InfraX to deal with one company for 500,000 meters is much easier than dealing with 40 companies. How do they write 40 contracts? For every time the gas companies did an RFP for meters, there were 20 companies from all over the world, from China, from Europe, from America, they participated. The life of the meter companies was very difficult because they had to go and bid this small. So we decided that, and how does anybody create a center of excellence? They can't be experts in everything. And this is exactly where I come to Stefan's point, that not developing any technology, not creating any technology, we did not innovate any technology. We said all technologies do exist in the world. It is a question of creating an innovative business solution by putting all these companies together and make the life of the end customer easy. Where the CEO can just look at his iPhone sitting anywhere in the world. He has the right dashboard. He can just, he can check the health of every meter. He can see the consumption patterns. He can see his own, whatever he wants to see, he can see through with the help of the software. LoRaWAN is the communication, becomes very, very easy. No dependence on the NB-IoT, no expensive solution. And this is exactly where we wanted to work. And to create this solution, I went back to my experience of Bollywood. So when the digitization was happening in the world, it started in the year 2005, and that is where I co-founded a company in India to spearhead the digitization. And exactly the same challenges we had at that point of time. There were very limited number of analog prints were made because the investment in a print was almost $1,200 to $1,500 per print. So the producers made very little investment in the print, which means the movie went to very limited number of theaters in the first week, which is the highest business. And once the movie did the run in that big theater, it went to the smaller theaters where there was no market because new content came and took over. As a result, producers were suffering because they made investment in the content, and the content is not being exploited because of the distribution. The theaters got the movie over a longer period of time where there was no value of the content in the subsequent weeks. So everybody was suffering. The answer was digitization. When the digitization happened, but the problem was exactly the same which I am seeing now for the gas sector in Middle East. Exactly the same problem, same issues facing them. Who invests? And the investment in the digital system was very heavy. It was almost $50,000 to $100,000 per digital projector and server. So to take care of these problems, we decided to create a platform, an ecosystem, a platform ecosystem, like Stefan said, and we decided to invest in the technology, in the hardware, digital delivery via satellite. We became the first company in the world to deliver via satellite, compression and encryption and coding of the content so that the content cannot be leaked. And we created one of the biggest platforms starting from India. And then I had the privilege of launching the operation in the Middle East. 100% market share our company had in UAE, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Lebanon. 100% of the cinemas were digitized by us. Now so this is exactly what we created, projector servers. So we created a PaaS model, what we call the platform as a service model, projector servers, encoding. Now this is exactly drawing upon this experience where I ended up investing almost $300 million in the hardware, software, and delivery communication ecosystem over 10 years from 2005 to 2015. This is exactly what we decided that now, to address all these issues which are being faced by the gas sector in Middle East, launch a platform where we invest in the hardware, the smart meters, get best of the class. And by the way, also because LoRaWAN is now just emerging worldwide, and every region doesn't need the LoRaWAN. I mean, the NB-IoT communication in Japan, US, Europe is pretty cheap, India. So there is very little development on the LoRaWAN meter side. So most of the meters developed are NB-IoT, LoRaWAN is just coming in. So getting the right meters, connectivity, LoRaWAN, InfraX, we tied up with, and then a world-class software, as I explained, diagnostics, troubleshooting, leak detection, edge and cloud-based, communication agnostic, short range, long range video, audio, customized dashboard. So this is what we are now launching. And this offering has been extremely well taken by the gas companies, which are fragmented. There are some companies who have only 500 or 1,000 meters. How do they create a center of excellence? How do they become expert in connectivity, smart meter, software, etc.? So this is exactly what we are now doing. So we have just launched this company, and it is being very, very well received by the gas companies. And I was telling Remy, the biggest elephant in the room in this entire offering was the communication. And thanks to LoRaWAN, this is the issue which is getting resolved, without which launching this model digitization in Middle East, in my view, is not possible. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kapil. Now our third speaker is Gaurav Gupta. He's the worldwide partner strategy lead for IoT connectivity at Amazon Web Services. Gaurav is an expert in diverse verticals, metering, logistics, agriculture, telehealth, and many. He's skilled in leading cross-functional teams and collaborating across partners and customers at executive and engineering levels. He has expertise in IoT core services that AWS provide, also cellular IoT networks, and cloud integration and product strategy. Gaurav has expertise in complemented by 17 and plus issued patents and other to come. So I'm very pleased to welcome AWS and Gaurav especially to speak for us on stage.
Thank you, Remy. I'm glad to be here. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Munich. I just arrived yesterday, so I'm still jet-lagged, but hopefully, this event is very energizing for me. I'm very close to LoRaWAN and the benefit that LoRaWAN has for the entire industry verticals. Within AWS, I support Center of Excellence, which has industry verticals, different industry verticals, which has LPWAN use cases. So I have an opportunity to work across system integrators, device manufacturers, independent software vendors, and of course, as part of this, the LoRa Alliance. Today, the discussion or the panel that we have today is around gas metering. What are the key challenges that I have seen around gas metering? Some of the things that I've seen is in the utility customers typically have access to the sensors or the metering data, which is gathered over two months period. And this data is accessed over different isolated systems. And because of this, there is a lack of getting a comprehensive insight. Then a lot of gas utility customers continuously operate in upkeeping mode. What that means is they pretty much spend a lot of cost just to keep up the systems. And most of the time, they have to work on firefighting or keeping up the system and reporting to the outages and failures. What they would prefer to have is a set of tools which will help them strategically improve their operations and have a better mechanism to looking at customer foresight and insight and having a better ability on forecasting. The third challenge that at least I'm seeing is around the aging industry. So a lot of employees in this industry which work across the metering infrastructure, they are aging and they are reaching the retirement age, and they have decades of experience, and the workforce that needs to come, they are younger and they don't have the expertise, and the knowledge transfer is one of the biggest issue with them. So this is where the GenAI can help. Because of the GenAI, then this expertise can transfer from the mature or more experienced workforce and can enable younger workforce not only to have the expertise in operating, but also establish them for the future use case. What are the key needs for the utility use cases? Of course, the number one is having a low power wide area technology, which is being served by LoRaWAN. They need meters that can run over a wide area network. They need to work where these sensors can be deployed and can run over many years. The second use case is around the interoperability. By incorporating LoRaWAN technology across a range of applications like monitoring gas level, water meter, and advancing and optimizing water systems, these organizations can tap into the flexibility of the standards to improve the overall efficiency and productivity of these operations. Ensuring security is the top priority in the LoRaWAN design, which allows the latest principles in security technology. In order for the ML and machine learning and artificial intelligence to operate effectively, it is very critical to have the data flow not only secure but also reliable. The accuracy and the trustworthiness of this data used in making decisions with these technologies is important. And having a clear understanding of the data origin right from the data source ensures reliability. What are the lessons learned from the LoRaWAN for smart metering network? The implementation of the technology enables backend systems that has now access to various providers of LoRaWAN meters. This is a highly valued feature by customers, as it offers the flexibility to update and expand the supplier options and enhance operational efficiency and for extended period of time. And customers are also use our AWS IoT Core for LoRaWAN, which is a managed network server and has been used to enable a better efficiency because it integrates directly with Amazon or AWS S3, which is a data lake solution for a cutting-edge analytics as well as machine learning and AI capabilities. The primary hurdle that we are seeing to overcome is to overcome issues around connectivity. What we see is the connectivity and coverage is one of the biggest challenge in the metering, gas metering segment. To circumvent this, we encourage a lot of these customers to do a thorough device testing in an isolated environment, rely on actual coverage rather than using the simulation models. And thirdly, what we do is collaborate with the LoRaWAN network providers for efficient rollout and planning. With LoRaWAN, it is simple to enrich smart metering data by deploying sensors at scale. What we do is the extensive selection of LoRaWAN sensors is impressive, as it presents the opportunity to leverage a very same smart networking infrastructure and augment with different water sensors such as thermostat sensor that can be added to the same water meter. This can help the gas utility customers who often struggle with accurately predicting their gas consumptions and patterns. By utilizing the temperature data, our utility customers can fine-tune their overall forecast to specific load conditions and better cater to the needs of the end customers. Thank you. I will pass it to Remy, and we will have some panel and questions. And I will be here if you have to talk anything after the session.
Thank you, Gaurav. So now we have still some time for some question and answers, and I will start by shooting first question, and each of you can indicate one or two key features that are required by your customers that are important for the connectivity choice. And second, what are, I will say, one or two obstacles you've met in the deployment of your solution?
Yeah, that's a good question. So one of the main requirement for customer is around coverage and low power. Coverage is because these utility customers typically don't want to deploy the network infrastructure. They have IT systems. They want to measure the data coming from these meters. And also they want to rely on the fact that these meters are interoperable. What that means is they don't want to rely on just one vendor. What they want is ability to change from one meter vendor to another one, or have a diverse supplier. So these are the two main requirements that I've seen: interoperability, which is covered by LoRa lines because it's a standard, and the coverage. When it comes to coverage, we work with different network providers to improve the coverage. Different utility device manufacturers, they go and certify with LoRa lines. That's additional benefit. Then we also encourage to do them the thorough testing. So these are some of the.
Okay, thank you. Kapil, sure.
I think the life of the gas companies, particularly in the region in which we are working, is difficult in every which way. Getting the right meter, as I mentioned, communication, software, then how to use that software. Dependence on one meter company, if you adopt the embedded software, so need to have a more universal software. When you have then every customer also want to protect their customer data. They don't want to share the data with the system integrators. So safety and security of the customer data, they want to keep control over it. Then obviously when you deploy the software, the security of the software and which cloud to use, where to go and all that stuff. So I think in hardware, software, communication, everything and the security, they have all these challenges, and this is exactly what we are trying to resolve by creating an integrated platform, address every issue of the customer, make his life easy. Don't talk of technology, just talk of commerce and make his life easy. Thank you.
Valentin?
On my perspective, first is the coverage. The biggest issue is to convince the gas utility that it couldn't be 100% at the time being, but we pay a lot of efforts to reach this 98%. Second is the battery life. You know that the battery is maybe the biggest part of the amount of the end device. So our batteries for our gas meters, we predict to use it for 10 years. It means that during the normal replacement process, we're checking every gas meter, and every 4 years, we are able, during that process, easily to replace the batteries. Third one is the security, and LoRaWAN is a very secure communication. But maybe with the quantum computing, in the next 10 years, it could be something we should think about it. And the fourth thing is the price of the end device.
Yeah.
So this is the 4 components, which is very essential for every project.
Can I ask one question?
Please.
So how, when you say battery life is 10 years, how frequently are you reading the data?
We are reading 5 times per day. We are getting the hourly consumption. So we have about 12 readings in every transmission. So we are overlapping the transmissions. And plus we have one service one, so it's normally 4 plus one service one. And we have also the push alarms. Any alarm trigger directly alarm in our server.
So you are doing 5 readings per day?
5 transmissions per day.
5 transmissions per day?
We have the delta for every hour.
That is fine, because that keeps accumulating the data. I think it's very commendable if you have 10 years of battery life with 5 transmissions a day, it is commendable.
And this is compensating consumption. It means that we have a temperature sensor. So we do in the meter compensation by temperature and by pressure to get the real amount of the consumption.
Yeah.
So you can see that those guys are already reaching a level of expertise. They can also respond to potential needs of your partners or customers. Don't hesitate to connect with them. They are here today. I don't know if we have time for one question or not. I know we are one question. So if there is one question from the audience, we will take it, and then after we will close. So, and let me ask the question for the 2 companies. You have been invited by the LoRa Alliance, Vestitel and Dicode Technologies. What are your expectations? I mean, it's your first chance here to be on the stage and to be within the LoRa Alliance ecosystem. What is your expectation for the future of the LoRa Alliance?
I think that that community will growing. I follow up this for the last 4 years on the LoRa Alliance events, on the Elite events, and etc. And I'm happy to see more and more friends, more and more technological opportunities. And that's because I'm here. I'm not here to selling. I'm here to buying ideas and technologies. And this is what I would like to see.
And you, Kapil?
I think the penetration of LoRaWAN in the geography that we are operating, I'm personally operating, I live in India and I am operating in India. And I'm still hearing from the users of LoRaWAN in India that there are challenges. And so I think those challenges need to be addressed. And in the Middle East, I think the LoRaWAN penetration is very, very small. So more needs to be done in the Middle East to expand the presence of LoRaWAN. Where I was very surprised to see the data here because we are very new to this business and new to LoRaWAN. I was very surprised to see the kind of data, which LoRa presented for Europe, for Germany. I mean, the kind of the way the network is being used. My vision before I came here, my concentration was only on the gas business. And now my mind is already working that how we can bring LoRaWAN to more applications, whether it is factory environment and smart cities. A lot of smart cities are being, developing in India. How to enhance the penetration of LoRaWAN in Middle East and in India. I think that is where we need to address.
Thank you, Gaurav. I wanted also to give you a last word, and then we will close. Gaurav, you want us to express possible interest for future features, technology-wise or business-wise?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for this opportunity. I would say, so AWS has been part of the LoRa Alliance for last 4.5 years, and it has, together we have implemented and supporting customers to grow this whole ecosystem. Just around utilities, I think one of the things that we have seen is utility customers are not tech savvy. And I think we have been discussing that since morning. I think what their requirements are very simple, they want something which has a long battery life. They need something that has coverage, that they can do some device management. They don't go into the details. I think what would help is, from the Alliance perspective, talk to some of these utility stakeholders, these partners, regulators, like how often the data, the sensor needs to be operated. And then develop some case studies around which has successful deployment and white papers and reference architectures, so that customers can just look at how other customers in the same space, how they have implemented. I think this can further increase the adoption of LoRaWAN within the utility.
But that's already what the LoRa Alliance is bringing, a lot of use cases and development. But you would like more to come?
Yes, strengthen more.
More and more. Yeah. Always more.
Always more.
That's life. I want to thank you, every of these gentlemen, and I ask you for a warm applause to their presentation and effort in sharing their expertise. Thank you.
Thank you.